Hello, everyone. We'll give people another, 2 minutes to join us if you're joining right on time. Hey, Becca. My name is Genevieve Marino, and I'll be teaching today's strength flow. I'm happy to offer our community yoga as a part of the Glitter Goddess Collective. We teach every morning, 10 a.m., and I teach a special evening class. Today's class is going to be pretty high energy, and I know my strength flows usually are, but I wanted to present this as a self-care, as a self-care alternative. So sometimes when you're feeling, I almost wanted to call this outrage flow, because sometimes when you're feeling so angry or so anxious and you can't come down from there and you don't know how to spend your energy and a restorative class is just too calm, it can be really nice to start with some more intense, faster movements that are linked with breath. So this is yoga, but it's definitely more high energy. Try it out. You could always take breaks, but I just wanted to offer it as an alternative because that's what I like. So see how you like it. You might feel really nice afterwards. Take breaks as you need them. Please drink water. If you have a blanket or a pillow or something that you like to support your knees or your sitting bones, then have that ready. You might want like a block or a block-like object, which could be like a big book or something, but you don't need it necessarily. What else do I want to say? I can't see you, so I'm offering these poses as suggestions, and I'm offering these cues. If something doesn't work for you and it doesn't feel right, we're working here, but we're not suffering. So back out of it and listen to yourself. And I'll be checking the chat, and if there's anything you want to let us know, if you have any questions or you want any modifications, just type it in the chat and I'll come on over and read it. Okay. So today, hello, Laura and Marshall. This is a good one. Are you ready to work out? Okay. Come to standing at the top of your mat. This is Tadasana. Feet can be together. Big toes and heels are touching. Arms at your side. Feet are pressing down as if there were 4 corners in each foot, and the foot is pressing down equally. Heck yeah, all right. As your feet press down, the front of the thighs lift up. The chest lifts up. Crown of the head reaches up. And then as you inhale, stretch the arms out and up. Maybe you look up at your fingertips. Stretch the hands and the fingertips apart from your feet. And then bring the arms down at your side. If you weren't already, come to standing at the top of your mat. And we're going to link breath with movement. Inhale, reach the arms up, look up, touch the hands together. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. You can bend the knees if you need to. Exhale, step it back to a plank. And you can always lower your knees to the ground. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Hands are shoulder width apart, fingertips pressing down, hips reaching up and back so that you lengthen the spine. Knees can be bent, but the legs are working towards straightening. Heels can be lifted, but they're moving towards the ground. Look forward, and then step or hop to get your feet in between your hands. Inhale, lengthen the heart forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms up, rise, look up as palms meet. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to repeat this pattern a few times, linking breath with movement. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the heart forward. Exhale, step it back to plank and lower into chaturanga. You can always put your knees down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. You push down with the fingertips and the pads of the hands so that the wrists almost become a little bit lighter. Hips are reaching up and back so that you lengthen the sides of your body. Look forward, step or hop to get your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms up and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, the arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, step it back. Chaturanga. Your back bend, upward facing dog or cobra as an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Here you feel your outer arms are contracting while your inner arms lengthen so that your armpits are almost facing each other. Look forward with the eyes. Push down with the fingertips. And the legs, maybe they feel like they're stretching the mat apart. They're not actually going anywhere, but it activates your legs. Look forward, get the feet between your hands by walking or hopping. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms up and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more sun salutation. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step it back. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog is your inhale. Downward facing dog. So this is your upside down V shape. And you can find stability here. 2 hands, 2 feet on the ground. Forearms almost feel like they're lifting as thigh bones move up and back. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step to the top of your mat. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, Reach the arms up, and this time we'll do something a little bit different. Fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step it back to plank. And you can always put your knees down, but if you're with me in plank, lift the right toes like a centimeter off the ground. Push down with the hands. Make sure the hands are underneath the shoulders. Then bring the right knee to the left elbow. Look forward. Send the leg back, but don't put it on the ground. Bring the right knee to the outside of the right elbow. Send the leg back. Hover. Bring the right knee in between the hands. Push down with the hands and step the leg forward. Make sure your feet are hips width distance apart, kind of like you're riding a bicycle. And I want you to feel your right knee is bent. The inner leg line is reaching towards the front of the mat as the inner leg line of the back leg is reaching towards the back of the mat. So your feet are moving in two opposite directions. They're spreading apart. Come up to fingertips. And then send the hips up and back. And your knee can be very bent here, but see how much straightening, how much lengthening you can get in the back of the leg. Maybe your leg straightens, maybe it doesn't, but this is a hamstring stretch. Rebend the knee. Bend the left knee and come up to high lunge. You can always put this knee on the ground if you like and pad the knee. Keep the knee bent. Reach the fingertips forward, up towards the ceiling. Your legs, again, are spreading apart, and maybe the back leg straightens. Make sure your front leg, your knee is bending. Look up. Bring the hands down. Step it back to plank. And then we're going to come into a side plank on the left hand. Roll the feet down so that both feet are flat on the ground. I don't know if you can see me. And then make sure left hand is underneath left shoulder and reach arms apart, feet away from the crown of the head. The hips face the side as the chest rolls open. You can always have a knee down as a modification. Bring the right arm forward and around. Plant the hands. You can either go back to downward facing dog, or if you want, vinyasa with a chaturanga. Upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. We'll take a moment here. If you need to take a child's pose or a sip of water, please do. And again, the fingertips push down as your hip bones lift and lengthen. And you get so much stretch and length out of your spine. Look forward. Walk or hop the feet in between the hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms up, rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step it back to plank. Again, you can always put knees down. This time, If you're in plank, lift the left toes and hover them off the ground, just like a centimeter. Look forward. Bring left knee to right elbow. Bring the toes back. Bring left knee to left elbow. Bring the toes back. Keep them hovering. Bring the left knee to center. Push down and then step the left toes next to the left thumb. Make sure your feet are hips width distance apart, like you're riding a bicycle. And bend the left knee, straighten the back leg, and imagine the inner leg line of the left leg is rolling forwards as the inner left leg line of the right leg is reaching back. So your feet are moving in two opposite directions. You're up on your fingertips, crown of the head reaches forward. Now bend the right knee. Come on up to high lunge. Again, reminder, you can always put the back knee down and pad it if you need to. Here, keep the right knee bent. Reach outer hips out left and right, and feet away from each other as you straighten the back leg and you reach the fingertips up, up, up. Maybe you look up, rebend the left knee, and then bring it down. Then you're going to send the hips up and straighten the front leg to the degree possible as you stretch your hamstring. Hips go up. You can be on fingertips. You could have a nice little table here if you want to. Rebend the left knee. Step it back to plank. And this time we're going to do side plank on the right side. Again, you can always put a knee down. And your right hand is directly underneath your right shoulder. Reach the left fingertips up. Stretch the arms apart. Reach the crown of the head towards the front of the room. Feet can be stacked or they can be in line with each other. Chest is rolling open as hips face the side. Bring the hand forward and down. You can either go directly back to downward facing dog or vinyasa, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Bring the knees down, take a child's pose, take a sip of water, or if you really like, you can stay in down dog. But do a pose where you can breathe and find stability and return to the calm, stable breath. All right. How you guys doing so far? So this next time, what's the best way you can see me? This way? Okay, when we bring our knee forward, we're going to do the plank thing and bring the knee over to one arm and then bring it over to the other arm. When you bring your knee over, say it's right knee, and you bring it over to the right arm, you can have the option of bending the elbows and tipping forward, and maybe you can lift your leg, back leg off the ground. You don't have to, but if you want, you can do it for an arm balance. And if you're like, what? No way. Just skip it. And you could do the same thing we did last time. Okay. When you're ready, downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal out the knees if you like, or have a stable, still downward facing dog, whatever you feel your body needs. Inhale, bring your shoulders directly over your hands for plank. And here, crown of the head is reaching forward, heels of the foot are reaching back, inner leg lines are spinning up as you push down with the fingertips. Lift the right toes and inch off the ground. Really small amount. Bring the knee across the body to the left elbow. Bring it back and hover. Bring it to the right elbow. Hike it up and connect it. And if you've got a connection, you can tilt forward, bend the elbows, and maybe lift the back leg off the ground. Stretch the crown of the head away from the toes, and then come down. Bring it back to hover. Step the foot forward. And pause here. And this lizard, actually bring the back knee down. And we'll use this time as a hip opener. Bring both hands to the inside of the right foot. Connect right arm to the inside of the right leg. You have the option of putting the forearms down. Also feel free to pad the back knee if you want. And see what kind of hip stretch you can get here. When you're ready, lift the back knee, bring hands to frame the front foot, spin the back heel down so that your right foot's heel is in line with the left foot, its heel or its arch. Bend the right knee so that shin is perpendicular to the mat. Push down with the right foot. Come up for warrior two. I wish I was facing the camera, but I'm not. Bend the front leg a little bit. Stretch the feet away from each other as you rebend the front knee. Reach the fingertips away, and your chest rises up through the shoulders. Crown of the head reaching towards the top, the ceiling, the sky. Reverse your warrior and straighten your leg. You can walk the back foot in a little bit if you want to, or you can keep your stance long. We're going to come into a triangle pose. Reach the arms apart. Look towards your back hand and tip forward so that your right hand comes somewhere to the right leg. Either the shin, the thigh, the floor, the toe, wherever. And here, you're going to stretch in 5 directions. Arms away from each other. Feet away from each other. And then crown of the head forward. Look forward over your right toes, and then maybe your gaze spins up as your chest opens. Rebend the front leg slightly as you come up. And then here, we're going to play with balance a little bit. You're going to step forward your left foot to the middle of the mat and then come into half moon. I'll move back so you can see me a little bit. And here's where you might want to put something underneath your right hand, like a block or a big book or a big pan or pot or something. Reaching in those 5 directions. Leg, leg, arm, arm, head. You're going to tip forward. Place the hand in front of the right foot and a little bit towards the right. And you play with balance here. You can bend the right knee slightly. Keep the chest open. Right toes push down. Left leg stretches back. Right hand pushes down. Left hand reaches towards the sky. And the crown of the head reaches towards the front of the room. Then step it back. And come to standing at the front of the mat. You did it. Now we just have to do it on the other side. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step it back to plank. Okay. Shoulders are directly above hands. Everything's in line and stacked. This time, you lift the left toes an inch off the ground. Push down with your hands. Look forward. Reach forward with the crown of the head. Toes reaching back. Bring the knee across the body to the right elbow. Send it back. Bring it to the left elbow. Maybe you find a connection between left inner leg and left outer arm. If you do, and you're adventurous, bend the elbows, reach, knee forward, leg back, send the leg back, push down with your hands, step it through, put the back knee down. You can always pad it. And by pad it, I mean put a blanket underneath. You can fold the mat up to add extra layers. And then here we do a bit of a hip stretch. Bring the left hand inside of the left foot. Left outer arm connects with left inner leg. Kind of like the arm balance if you did it. Feel free to bend the elbows and maybe you even get the forearms on the ground, but you don't have to. Stretch the feet apart. Hug the left leg and the left arm together. Bring the left hand again to the outer edge of the left foot. Tuck the back toes. Straighten the back leg. Spin the right heel down. Bend the left knee so that your shin is perpendicular to the mat. And your left heel is in line with your right heel or right arch. When you've got that, come on up. I need to make mine longer. For warrior 2, you feel legs, feet stretching apart as you bend this right leg. Stretch the fingertips apart, and maybe the center of your chest is able to rise. Crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Maybe you look over your left fingertips. Reverse. And straighten the left knee. We're going to come into triangle pose. Reach the arms apart again. Reach the legs apart. Tip forward. And the left hand can land on the ankle, the shin, the thigh, the floor outside of your left foot. Just watch out for your knee. If you want, you can make the stance a little shorter. And now you're reaching in 5 directions. 1, right arm reaches towards the right ceiling. 2, left fingertips push down into whatever they're connecting with. 3, back leg pushes down into the earth. 4, left toes push forward. 5, crown of the head reaches forward. You look forward. Maybe you spin your gaze up to the ceiling. Rebend the front knee slightly and come on up. We're going to tilt that shape onto its side for balancing in half moon. Same shape, just different orientation. Take your block-like object if you want it, and you're going to place it in front of the left toes and like an inch or 2 towards the left. And then you're going to take this shape. You're going to bend the left knee and tilt it forward. Bring the right foot in closer and closer and closer. Maybe it comes off the mat. You can keep the left knee bent. And now you push the left toes down into the ground. The right foot reaches back. The right arm reaches towards the ceiling. Left arm pushes down. Crown of the head reaches towards the front of the room. Reaching in all 5 directions. Bring the back knee down. Step to the top of your mat. Take a child's pose or a drink water break or a seat or a down dog. Something that you find, again, you can return to the steady breath. Something that I could have said while you were in your half moon is if you find a point in the room to lock your eyes on and you have a steady gaze, sometimes it helps with your balance. All right. When you're ready, I'm going to show you something. You can watch me do it, and then we'll all do it together. But here again, we're linking breath to movement. So your inhale is going to be one pose, and your exhale is going to be another pose. So you're going to start in down dog. And you're going to keep your knees bent a little bit. And you're going to go to plank. Make sure that your shoulders are above your hands, directly in line. And so, I'll show you this, and then I'll also show you a modification. So sip your water, breathe while you're watching. But your inhale is going to be down dog, and your exhale is going to be plank. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So it's going to be like... And while you're doing it, keep your gaze steady and looking forward toward, like, 2 feet in front of your mat if you have the space to do so. If you want to do this with knees down, here's what you can do. Because this is about shoulders and opening the shoulders. You're going to be in child's pose and then a plank with your knees on the ground. Child's pose, plank. Child's pose, plank. Child's pose, plank. But it's going to be a very active child's pose where you're looking forward. So it's going to be like inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We'll do that for a little bit. And then we'll put knees down again. All right. Come to down dog or your active child's pose. Make sure hands are shoulder width apart. You're looking forward like 2 feet in front of your mat. Knees can be bent a little bit so that your hips get up high. Inhale, and then exhale, come to plank. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, and then go at your own pace. If you want to go slow, go slow. If you want to go fast, go fast. Push down with the fingertips. And we'll do this for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put the knees down. How's it going? Take another sip of water if you want. We'll do a back bend, some breath work, and then some really nice restorative poses. So for our back bend, come to knees on the ground, and again, if you want to pad them, you can. You can either put a blanket, fold it up, or if you don't have a blanket, you can roll up your mat like this. And keep the toes tucked. And we'll do a camel pose. So stick your butt out a little bit. And then as your tailbone lengthens back, feel the rebound of the middle of the chest lifting. For hand variations, you could keep your hands at heart center, or you can bring them to your lower back, your sacrum. Bring the elbows close in together. And then just lengthen the spine. Lengthen the crown of the head up. Lengthen the center of your chest up. Maybe it goes so far up it starts to go back. But there's no expectation to how far back you go. Make sure you're breathing. Push down with the legs. And then as you come up, stick your butt out. Sit down on your shins. I think we should do it again. One is never enough. So come up onto shins again. This time you can have the toes untucked if you want. So either tucked or untucked. And if you have the toes tucked, push down with your feet and your shins as you lift the center of the chest up. Maybe the tailbone lengthens down. This time maybe the arms reach down. Maybe you come back and you touch. You reach for your heels. If you don't touch them, it's okay. Make sure you're inhaling. And then when you're ready, stick the butt out, bring it down, sit back on your heels. If you had your mat rolled up, unroll it. And then we're going to do some breath work. So come into a comfortable seat. I'm going to sit on my block. If you want to sit on your pillow, you could just put it underneath your sitting bones, the two bones in your butt. So you could be like sitting with a pillow in between your ankles, just to elevate your hips a little bit, and then sitting on your shins. Or you could sit crisscross applesauce. And we're going to do Kapalabhati breath. So how that works is you send a really sharp exhalation out through your nose. And then the inhale almost happens automatically. So I've had teachers describe it like you're just like blowing a bug away from your face or something. And then the inhale happens automatically. And we're going to reach our arms up and make a V and cup the hands and stretch the fingertips up. Inhale normally. And then exhale. And we'll do 100 rounds of this. See how much you can do. Inhale halfway. And then begin. Sharp exhale. Inhale halfway, exhale, bring the arms down. Take a normal inhale and a natural exhale. I can only imagine what my face looks like while we do it. Hopefully that's not the thumbnail of this video. You can remove the pillow if it was high, like high in height. And we're going to come into Baddha Konasana, which is soles of the feet together, knees apart. And if you want to elevate the sitting bones or the hips a little bit, you can. You can fold up a blanket. And place it under your hips. And the closer your heels are to your body, the deeper the stretch. And the further away they are, the less intense the stretch is. So you can kind of customize your experience. So if you have the blanket, sit on the edge of the blanket. If you don't have one, it's totally fine. You put the soles of the feet together and the knees wide. You can support your knees with your hands if you want, or you can just allow the hips to open. If you want to, you can walk the fingertips forward and fold over your legs. Inhale, come on up. And next, I'm going to remove the blanket actually. Next, what we're going to do is a figure 4. And you're going to have your feet on the floor, knees bent, legs or hips width distance apart, not wider, not skinnier, in line. And then you could start with your feet pretty far out in front of you. Try to get on the front edge of your sitting bones, the 2 bones in your butt. And then you're going to bend the right knee, bring it in close, rotate at the hip joint so that the knee comes closer to the floor. Pick up the right foot and place it over the left thigh for a figure 4. And if you want to deepen it, you can walk the foot of the left leg, the left foot, in closer to your body. If you want to intensify the stretch, you can also make sure that you're on the front of your sitting bones and your posture. Your spine is nice and tall. If you want to, you could stay here, and your left leg can be as bent as you want it to be. If you want to make it more intense, you can walk the left foot over towards the right, bend the left knee, and come into double pigeon or firelog pose. And your shins will be stacked on top of each other. Right foot on top of left knee, right knee on top of left foot. If you want to, you can walk the fingertips forward and fold over your legs. Or stay upright. Inhale, come on up. Roll, if you're in double pigeon, roll onto your left outer hip and then extend the legs. If you're in a figure 4, bring the right knee out of it and extend the legs. You can windshield wiper the legs, the knees if you want, right and left. And then we're going to come into the left side. So we're going to start from that figure 4 position again and move into double pigeon. Extend the right leg. The knee is still bent, but you give yourself some room to work into it first. So the right leg is not in super close. Bend the left knee and bring the left heel close to your body. Then rotate at the hip joint, bringing your knee outward. Lift the left foot and place it over the right thigh bone. If you want to intensify it, you can bring the right foot closer in. You can also check in with your posture. Make sure you're sitting on the front of your sitting bones. And you want to, you can either stay here or you can come into the double pigeon or the fire log pose on this side. Shins are stacked. This time the left leg is on top. Left knee over right foot. Left foot over right knee. Option to walk the hands forward and fold. To come out of it, extend the legs forward. And we'll come into a forward fold, but this time seated. If you want to come onto your blanket again, you can. Legs extended forward. I'll show you from this angle, from the side. For Paschimottanasana. Have the legs, the knees bent a little bit to start. Feet are flexed. And you're going to reach the center of the chest forward. See if you can connect your belly and your ribs to your thighs. Hands and fingertips reach forward. If you can grab your feet. If not, whatevs. And then slowly lengthen the back of the legs while keeping that belly, rib, thigh connection. You straighten your legs as much as you feel is reasonable, and you lengthen the back of the legs. Hip bones, what are they called? Sitting bones, push down and back as your heart reaches forward. Maybe you rest your forehead on your legs or your forehead on your pillow. If you had a pillow, you could do this. And hands land wherever. Doesn't matter. Inhale, reach the heart forward and rise up. And exhale, let it all out. We're going to come into Shavasana, and I'm going to give you choices. You don't always have to take Shavasana the same way. You can take it the traditional way where you're lying on your back. And we'll be here for a few minutes and you rest. It's a well-deserved rest. Or you can take Shavasana lying on your belly. Sometimes that's nice if you've never tried it. It can feel really grounding. Or you can take Shavasana if you have like a piece of furniture or something next, or a wall. You can take Shavasana with your legs up the wall. Sometimes that's really nice. So you scoot your butt up to the wall. I hope you can see this. And you put your feet up it. So you have 3 choices for Shavasana. And if you'd like me to choose for you, try legs up, legs floating. Start to bring some awareness back into your body. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Feel free to stay here as long as you like in Shavasana, or roll to one side. Slowly come to a seated position. Inhale and exhale through the mouth. One more time, inhaling deeply and exhale through the mouth. Thank you for practicing with me today. Please thank your body. No matter what today's practice looked like, no matter what the poses looked like, no judgments towards your own body. Just thank it for showing up and doing the work. Thank your mind for attending to the really difficult task of yoga. I want to shout out my colleagues and fellow goddesses, Matt, Anthony, Trent. They teach daily community yoga, 10 a.m. every morning. If you liked that style of class, I teach it. That's our strength flow, and I teach it Thursdays at 5 p.m. And I also do restorative flow Sundays, 10 a.m. And if you liked it, please like it and share it and do all the social media things. Follow us on Instagram. All our flows are on Facebook and our YouTube channel, so subscribe to that if you like it and share it with your friends. And we do accept donations. We offer these classes for free, but if you want to, please Venmo us at the Glitter Goddesses. All donations go to queer, trans, and PoC families, and specifically if you want it to go towards the New York City community, please let us know. And any donations that I get today or this week, let me know. And I'm going to shout out this charity, the Equal Justice Initiative. I know probably a lot of you have heard of it, but this is for all across the United States, not just New York City, but the efforts go to end mass incarceration and excessive punishment in the United States, challenge racial and economic injustice, and protect the basic human rights for the most vulnerable people in American society. So if you want it to go there, also please let me know. And that's it. Thanks for practicing with me today. Bye, guys. You guys rock.